Minglaba everyone, and I'm back with another video. I hope this little video finds you all safe and sound. And with that, today I've got a rather interesting book to review. It was written in 1912 and it is called Daddy Longlegs by Jean Webster. This video will be divided into small parts: the theme, the plot, the writing style, the characters, and age appropriation. The general overview. The story revolves around a person named Jerusha Judy Abbott, who is the oldest person in the Jungria orphanage. One day, a mysterious trustee showed up and offered to send Judy to college. Judy was called to the office and only saw a glimpse of that person. And the one thing she noted down was that he was very tall, hence the nickname. The rest of the book was really creative, coming in the forms of letter from Judy to the trustee because he had required her to write him a letter every month. And Judy basically won is that a challenge and sends him a letter every few days, which, dear Mr. Trustee, you walk right into that one. When Judy first got into her college, her aura radiated from her letters and she expressed enthusiasm for every activity she participated in. She made new friends, learned the joys of school life, and had a blast. She also recorded her day-to-day life to the smallest detail to her trustee. We see her go to a farm for the holidays, which Daddy Longlegs specifically wanted her to stay, and recognized her fascination with everything she experienced. Then we got back to returning from her freshman to senior year all the way until the end of the school and tried to fulfill our life dreams of being happy and becoming an author. The story was a simple little one, and the journey of Judy going to college has a very homely feel to it all. And it's nothing too grand, but I believe it's supposed to be like that. It's one of the best things I have ever read in my life. Now for the theme. I have to say, I believe this story carries a theme a whole lot deeper than I'm equipped to deal with as of the moment. It speaks a story about a girl, Sean Yan, and finding out how the world works all over again. And it's just really fun to get along the ride. The plot. It's slow paced and not a lot of things happen in the story, except for the real twist and surprise at the end and the subsequent romance. However, the writing kept me entertained throughout and it never felt like a burden to read. The writing style is super amazing on how someone could use such a beautiful style of writing and be utilized to such a fascinating degree. It is also particularly fascinating on how much of the story can be pieced together by reading the letters of a one-sided conversation. The typical funny childhood illustration that is done in a childish manner also practically steal the deal. The characters. Of course, Judy is the main character of the story. She's a fun person to get along with, being funny, fierce, bouncy, and is unafraid to say exactly what she thinks. I love her character, and despite coming from a rather gloomy childhood, she is committed to enjoy her life and doing whatever it takes to be happy. Sally McBride is Judy's steadfast best friend. She has a cheerful personality with a loving, jolly family. Judy often went to her house for the holidays and quite enjoy her duration of the trip there. Julia Penadon is an interesting person to read about. She is kind of snobby and also rather nosy. She and Judy got off on the wrong foot and really disliked each other for nearly the whole story. And this was only worsened when Julia started to be interested in Judy's backstory. However, at the end of the day, they both ended up as somewhat friends and usually enjoy each other's company and no longer consider each other an abomination to society. And of course, the book's namesake, Daddy Longlegs. He's just been really mysterious the whole time and not really doing much. However, at the last few pages, you can see that he was starting to become more interactive, sending her a huge amount of checks, forbidding her from doing something, or just simply acknowledging her finally. Next act is Jarvis Pendleton, who is the uncle of Julia. He is known for being different from his family, usually having eccentric thoughts and new ideas brewing. He and Judy got along really well, especially as they share nearly the same views and perspective, while at the same time, they also just got along with each other naturally. There was also Jimmy McBride, who is Sally's older brother. He's fond of Judy and she returned in kind. He also considered to be a bit immature and likes having a bit of fun. However, we can't really trace down his personality properly, just going by Judy's letters alone. Miss Lippett was the stern-head matron at the John Grier Orphanage that we got to interact with briefly at the start. In the rest of the story, she came up in small doses when Judy would recount her time at the orphanage. And finally, age appropriation. According to Google, this is a book meant for 7 to 12 years old. However, despite its rather simplistic title and the story plot, I would say that it handles deeper topics than what you would expect. It's a super fun read and I promise it doesn't get boring. I really recommend this little piece of jam.